It's October. You know what that means? It's spooky month, which means villains month. How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disaster back with another review, and today we're going to take a look at the MG Tallgeese from the Gundam Wing anime. Now, I've already taken a look at the RG version. Check that out. I've already talked about what makes Zags or Milliardo scary, so there's no need for me to repeat it here again. So take a look at the box art. We see the Tallgeese charging through the snow. Remember that one episode in the anime, fighting the heavy arms? I dig the slight weathering on the Tallgeese. Look at this side of the box. We have the front and the rear shot of the Tallgeese. Moving on over, just shows off the weaponry and the cool gimmicks. Moving on to this side of the box, we see the Tallgeese in nice action poses, some nice art, and right over here, and I believe those are some advertisements of some sort of side story. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. After opening the box, we got 6 big bags of runners and a manual. And here is the cover of the manual, similar to the box art, minus a smell. And opening it up just talks about the MS design. I know it's in Japanese, but you can always look at the wiki. And right over here, we got some images from the anime and the pilot himself. Checking the parts list, and well, looks like we're going to be using all of them. Checking in the middle of the manual, we got more information plus nice CG renders, and right down here is an advertisement of the novel, and right over here just talks about more of the Tallgeese. And moving on down, yep, it's just information about the Tallgeese. Right over here just shows where you can place the marking stickers and the dry transfers. And onto the back is a painting guide if you're planning on painting it, and it shows the 1-point technique. We also have a painting guide of the pilot himself. Starting off with runner A1 is going to be multicolored with a big chunk of yellow and small bits of red and clear plastic. As B1 and B2 are going to be the white parts, and they're going to be sharing just this chunk of a runner. C1 and C2 are going to be the gray parts, and they're going to be sharing this part of the runner. Runner D, and I know on camera it looks black, but it's actually very dark blue. Runner E, we have more of the gray parts. Runner F kind of looks like a brownish gray parts. Runner G1 is going to be the white parts, and runner H1 is going to round it up as well. And you're wondering, well, where's runner G2 or H2? Well, it's not in there, so something tells me it has something to do with the Tallgeese 2 and the Tallgeese 3. And you also have runners I1 and I2 rounding up the gray parts. Polycap runner, beam saber effect parts, which has a curve on it. You get a small bag with a spring in it. Something tells me it has something to do with the Dober gun. And finally, you have a set of color correcting dry transfers and marking stickers. That's gonna be it for the unboxing part. So far, I do like what I see, but I didn't hear a lot of things about this kit, so I might keep my hopes just a little high, but not too high. So I'll put this kit together right now. I'll see you guys right after. And here we have the Tallgeese all put together. Now, putting this kit together is very straightforward, nothing frustrating, but my only problem with this kit is that it does fall backwards like so many times. I'm not sure if it's either the backpack or the ankles. For now, it decides to behave normally in front of the camera. Other than that, the out-of-box presentation, it looks really nice. What's really interesting is that you don't get a lot of seam lines on this kit, so we can skip over that. Moving on with stickers, starting with the metallic one. That's going to go behind that clear piece, but I painted yellow instead. These 2 little red circles are going to go onto the chest piece right over here. These 4 slightly larger red circles are going to go onto these side skirts, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. These gray... Okay, yeah, see what I mean? So what I meant to say is that these gray circles, they go onto these part of the backpack, 2 on each side. And finally, these yellow stickers are going to go to the wings right here. Okay, so that wraps up the out-of-box presentation. Once again, it is very nice, despite what you just saw like a while ago. Yeah, you know what I'm about to say. Get yourself an action-based stand, which is why it came with one of these. Spoiler alerts. Okay, so I'm going to start working on this kit, and I'll see you guys right after. Okay, so I didn't do much to the Tallgeese because, you know, the fact that I live in Florida, I also have to deal with the hurricane, and I can't do much work on Tallgeese, and I want to get this video out there. So the best I could do is throw in a little paint and panel light it. Hopefully after this review I can do more work on it, and I'll show you guys in a form or short video. Anyways, let's move on to accessories, starting off with hand options. Well, not really hand options, but more like finger options. What you see in the kit are the closed fists. You got a set for the open palm hands. These are for the weapon holding hands. And finally, you have ones for the trigger fingers. Well, 2 of them. Except you have its shield, and yes, I did put a little paint and some decals on it. So for the articulation on this arm, it does have a ball joint right over here. This can move down and up. This right here can also move down and up and rotate. And since this is a peg right here, it attaches to the left shoulder. That you do have 2 beam saber handles behind the shield, and along with 2 beam saber effect parts. And no, it doesn't like move or anything. You will have to just pull it out. And finally, what you've been waiting for is the big doppel gun, which attaches to the right shoulder. And you also have the articulation on the arm as well. You got a ball joint right over here. This can move down and up. This can also move down and up as well. You also have a ball joint on this little piece. You got this handle which can swing forwards and backwards. This handle right here can rotate and can move in and out as well. And you do have this like spring-loaded like action. I forgot how it goes. Oh, there it goes. It just moves back. And well, I believe this, okay, so this thing right here is supposed to move down, something like that. Not the best presentation, but you guys get the idea. Moving on with articulation, the head is on a ball joint, and you also have this neck joint which can move down and up, and you can see this little white piece moves along with it. You also have a cockpit opening. Of course, every master grade has that. Moving on to the shoulders, this can be pulled out so it can move forward and backwards. The shoulder pad, it does move down. It's gonna be a little tight. And as for the arm, it does go up. Hold up. Okay, so if you move the shoulder pad down, the arm can go up this high. So anyways, you also have a bicep rotation, double bend on the elbow, and the wrist is on a ball joint. So moving on to the torso, I always showed you the cockpit opening gimmick. So anyways, it does an ab crunch and can move back that far. Also have a bit of side to side and a limited waist swivel. Moving on to the waist, this little bit can move forward. And as for the side skirt, now this one is attached to the thigh, as you can see by this little ball joint. So anyways, this has a ton of range of movement, so it does like a little worm. And moving on to the back skirt, even though it doesn't move, but you also have this gimmick of lifting this up, which reveals a thruster. The weight can go forward this high, can move back this far. As for the splits, well, if you don't connect the side skirt, it could go this far. Double bend at the knee, which gives you nice knee armor separation. And as for the feet, it can move up this far, it can move back that far. It does rotate because it's on a ball joint. And as for the pivot, well, I gotta say it's actually pretty nice. And yes, you do have some movement on the toes as well. And moving on to the backpack, well, if you want to call it that because it's attached to the torso, this can move forwards and backwards, can also rotate as well. And you also have this really cool gimmick that you pull this flap from both sides, it reveals some thruster, and you pull this wing out, it brings the thruster down. Pretty cool, right? Overall, the articulation on this kit is actually pretty good, and yeah, I did forgot to show you there is a 1/100 scale Zex, because I forgot to mention him during the accessories. So anyways, you really have to be patient with this kit when you're posing it, and yeah, I did mess up on the thrusters back there, and having him hold the big doper gun, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of patience too, because right now I know the posing is a little awkward, but that's the best I could do. So moving on with size comparisons, here it is right next to the Strike Noir. I mean, it's kind of a villain, isn't it? So as you can see, Tallgeese is a bit shorter than the Strike Noir, because the Strike Noir is like, almost an average size mobile suit. And since it's Villains Month, here it is right next to Lego Joker. So that's gonna be it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Moving on to my final thoughts. Overall, it's not a bad kit. It's just that, again, you're going to have to be like really patient with it, and it is back heavy. So once again, I recommend an action-based stand. And I do have like small parts like falling off on me, so I also recommend some glue. And the ankle armor does pop off a little easy. Again, glue. Hopefully this video gives you an understanding of you should be cautious if you want to get this kit. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but just giving you a little heads up. So that's gonna be it for the review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content. Questions, concerns, comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. I feel like some of you are gonna ask me if I'm gonna get the other Master Grade Tallgeese variants. Probably not.